welcome everybody. If you're new here, this is Ballet Rain. Some time ago, we came across this video called The Top 10 Hardest Ballet Moves to Pull Off, and it was created by a channel under the name of Msmojo. Wait, sorry, Msmojo or Msmojo? Msmojo with a 1S. This video really piqued our curiosity. I looked through the channel and I found out that Msmojo is not a ballet channel at all. So I'm personally a little bit dubious as to whether or not Msmojo can provide us with valid ballet information. Today, we decided to watch it with you and give you our honest opinion on what we think about this video and how accurate it is. Yes. Hopefully, we will be pleasantly surprised. By the way, this video is just in fun, all entertainment for your viewing enjoyment. Don't kill us in the comments. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to our channel if you haven't already, and make sure you press the notification bell so you'll be the first to know whenever we upload new videos. Mission control. Okay, here we go. The top 10 hardest ballet moves to pull off. Already, I'm getting a bad feeling about this because they said ballet moves for non-dancers. Generally, we never actually call it ballet moves. We usually say like a ballet step. Because dance moves gives the impression of like, you know, street dancing or hip-hop. Not that it's not a bad thing, it is not a bad term. It's just applicable to a different style and not so much in the context of ballet.
Welcome to Msmojo.
Thank you.
And today, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 hardest ballet moves.
Why don't you just try this?
Ooh. Okay. Nice. Oh my gosh. Those are actually really hard though. That was impressive.
I could work on it. You do that.
Oh, but his attitude.
For this list, we'll be looking at some of the most difficult moves in one of the most difficult dance styles ever invented.
They're not wrong.
Here, we'll be excluding techniques like en pointe, however. If you think we left out a particularly tricky ballet move, please tell us about it in the comments. Vids or it didn't happen. Number 10, cabriole.
I'm really perplexed. Let's hear what she has to say though.
People who aren't ballet dancers themselves may not be familiar with this term. It's a French word meaning caper. In essence, a cabriole is a jump where one leg comes up and the other follows, taps it, then comes back down. Well.
I just think it was funny that she used the word taps it, because usually in ballet we say you beat it, so it's like the complete opposite. Rather than a tap, you like it looks like a tap, but you literally beating your legs together.
It can be done in different ways, with a big jump or a little one, to the front or to the back. But it is a difficult step to master, because the higher leg must stay up while the lower leg moves, and both legs have to be straight.
Okay, so that's the reason why cabriole is the hardest dance step ever. There are hundreds of dance steps that have that same criteria. Isolating one part of the body, moving the other part of the body, and then keeping the legs straight. That's like almost all of ballet right there. Here's my take on cabriole. It is a very advanced step. Right. And you don't learn it until you're in the intermediate or advanced levels. Exactly. In order to make a cabriole look good and be able to execute it well, you have to have a lot of technique. You need to have a lot of really good placement. But the thing that bothers me about them putting it in the hardest ballet moves is the fact that the cabriole is actually a standard ballet step. In a lot of ballet repertoire, both the women and the men will do cabriole. It's a standard step. So to call it the hardest kind of just cheapens the rest of the ballet steps out there. Double cabrioles are hard though, to be fair. When you start adding multiples to almost any step, it becomes harder. A single cabriole would be, you'd be this way, and a double cabriole you'd be twice before coming down. So again, you need more airtime, more strength. This is from Swan Lake, Act 1. If you haven't seen our Swan Lake video, we'll put the link in the description. You can go check it out after you watch this one.
Also, the landing is expected to look light and graceful, even though the dancer is coming down on just one foot.
Like the rest of all of ballet. All of ballet, you need to look light and graceful. This is definitely not an excuse to make it the hardest dance move.
Number 9, arabesque.
Arabesque is everywhere. And sure, it's hard, but for context, all of ballet is hard. There's nothing in ballet that is easy per se. You know how in cabriole, we don't start learning that until you're in the intermediate, bordering advanced level. For arabesque, you're literally starting this at day one. Getting your tendu derrière or tendu to the back, which is, in essence, your arabesque position. Because this is such a standard and basic step that we need to start training our children young to already be doing this position.
This would be like in your ballet step starter pack.
Not the top 10 hardest ballet moves, okay.
While it can be considered a technique depending on how or when it's used, this graceful position is also a move that's common in ballet dancing.
Plot twist, we've been red herringed. This is now top 10 most common ballet moves.
Msmojo, I'm so confused.
It's not even the hardest ballet moves anymore. It's just like the most common ones.
In ballet.
However, that does not mean it's easy to execute. The arabesque requires great balance and flexibility. The dancer stands on one foot and extends the other leg back straight, parallel to the floor.
Hold on. Parallel to the floor, that is not always the case. Arabesque has a range from your foot actually being on the floor to 180 degrees.
The head is held high, the lower back arched, and the rear toes pointed.
Toes are always pointed.
Always. If your foot is off the floor, it's going to be pointed.
This is actually my favorite bit of Swan Lake.
No way.
Yeah. Isn't it? It's like...
It is.
The dancer's arms must also look graceful, of course, so they can't be used to steady the body. One usually extends forward, while the other can be in a number of positions.
There are a lot of different places the arms can be, but I wouldn't say
Like
you wouldn't be
this.
here. This is like jousting. I don't know. That's a very interesting point, and I don't think it's necessarily correct.
Number 8. Pirouette. The pirouette is another move that every ballet dancer must have in their repertoire.
I think if you're doing over a double pirouette, then I would put it in the more difficult category. Double pirouette is standard. Single pirouette is... It's still used when you do consecutive pirouettes from fifth. So maybe she has a point here.
Basically, it's a spin or twirl done on the tip
spin
of
or a
one
twirl.
foot. That's just the beginning, however. One must consider the placement of the arms, head, and other leg. Also, dancers rarely do just one pirouette and stop.
I want a clean double.
I'm sorry, I thought there was enough music for 3. I mean, wouldn't it be better if we all did a triple?
Number 7. Piqué turn. Now imagine that instead of turning in one place, you have to perform several turns while moving across the floor.
Whoa, okay, imagine you're doing them while moving across the floor, thus it makes it harder than a pirouette.
The thing with PK turns though is you are turning and you are moving, but not only do you come down off your shoe, both feet are on the ground. So you have that time to recalibrate and find your balance again. Also, it's easier to fake if you fall out of a PK turn, frankly.
We'll just say there's a lot of other turning movements that include traveling across the floor that are much harder than the piqué turn.
That is the piqué turn, or piqué en tournant.
She's good at these. This is a good variation too.
Unlike a pirouette, which has a brief preparatory pose, the piqué turn begins with a step. After turning, the dancer takes another step, and then another turn, and so on, traveling in one direction. Spotting is just as vital in this move as in the pirouette, if not more, because the dancer must keep track of both the front of the stage and the way they're going. It is easy to lose balance in this move, and once lost, it's hard to get back.
Also, it's easier to fake if you fall out of a PK turn. It's easier to fake if you fall out of a PK turn.
Number 6. Penché. Remember the arabesque? Well, this is like that, only harder.
I would actually agree on that one.
Yeah, she has a point. Penché is actually, the full name is arabesque penché.
Yeah.
Penché is a type of arabesque. It's just the hardest.
While most amateur dancers could probably do a passable arabesque, only professionals can pull off the full vertical penché.
Okay, not only professionals can do the arabesque penché. In fact, if you're a young student, maybe intermediate to advanced levels, you should be working on your arabesque penché because this is what they're going to give you in an audition. The arabesque penché kind of displays your full range range of technique. It shows off, number one, your flexibility, just like Ms. Moser said, and also your strength and your balance.
So I think of all of them so far, I think this one's the first one that's actually accurate.
This one is actually a very, very difficult step. This is a beautiful, beautiful part of Giselle.
Number 5, Tour de Rang. The Tour de Rang, which means turn of the back, is an unusual ballet move.
Unusual.
The legs are spread and the knees stay bent, for instance, and the entire body leaves the ground for the turn.
Tour de
We're not French. Not even Quebecois. These look like barrel turns. I'm guessing it's the same thing. This is a predominantly male dancer's step. So I have personally never done one of these. But as far as I know, I'm just gonna put this right off the bat. This is one of the tricks that the male dancers learn, but this is the very first trick step that they learn. So I don't think this would be considered the hardest. I can't speak for the men.
Because the step is more conducive to pants than a skirt, it is traditionally performed by men, but not always.
Okay.
The reason it is also called a barrel turn
Oh,
is
okay, there we
because
go.
the whole
There's the
body
barrel
spins
turn.
at once, like a barrel, all parts together.
I think it's such a cool step. I really love watching
Yeah,
it.
it's super cool. And the thing is with barrel turns is it's followed by a bigger trick step. They'll do either a manège of barrel turns or they'll do diagonal. And then they'll end it with like a 540 or a double soda basque or something like that.
How like that back arm stays the same
Yeah.
and the leg. That's what makes it successful.
Number 4, Grand
Absolutely
Jeté.
not. Absolutely not.
Why?
No. Okay.
It is hard if you don't have a full split, but as a dancer, it's expected that you will at least be working towards your 180-degree jeté. Also, I personally really enjoy grand jeté. I wouldn't say it's
Yes.
hard as in I'm stressed that I won't get it. You just gotta hit the rhythm.
Now we're getting into the big jumps.
She does it very well though.
That was a beautiful grand jeté.
And I like her dress, it's pink.
Yeah.
Instead of the usual red color that they usually have Kitri wear.
As you can imagine, any high leap
Ooh, that's
requires
nice.
strength
It
and
does.
agility. In the case of a grand jeté, though, that's just the beginning. In this jump, the dancer must do a complete horizontal split in the air. So even though the move itself goes by quickly, it requires a lot of preparation and practice to master. Number 3,
Absolutely
Italian
agree.
footy.
Italian fuete.
These are hard.
hard.
There is so much room for error in Italian fouette, so
Yeah.
Ms. Mojo did well to put this in the list.
There are 2 kinds of fouette.
There's actually
Don't worry, we'll get to
more
the
than
other.
2 kinds of fouette, but that's another topic for another video.
This one, the Italian fouette, is a bit like a pendulum, which looks very graceful and elegant when it's done right.
I like how quiet
Yeah.
her whole upper body is as she does this. This is very well done.
She's Russian.
I agree with this.
Yeah, I
I
agree
agree.
too.
Number 2, Grand Adage. Unlike most of the entries on our list, this section of a grand pas is done slowly, and that's exactly what's so difficult about it.
I mean, technically, it's not a step.
You know how she was saying they're going to exclude technical
Techniques.
like on
Like point work.
pointe.
Well, point work.
I think adage is kind of a broad term for putting it under a category of specific moves, but we're not going to be technical with that. Adagio work, grand adagio, is in fact a very, 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 very difficult ballet step. Kind of goes along with what we were saying about arabesque penché. Grand adagio is what really is going to showcase your ballet technique as a whole, because everything that you've learned is going to be challenged in adagio. And it's hard because it's done slow.
Yeah,
and
you can't hide anything.
you can't hide at all. If you're wobbling, it's gonna really show. If you're falling out of step, it's gonna really show.
The ballet dancer must demonstrate incredible strength and balance by doing a series of attitudes and similar poses, slowly, but without stopping. They lift one leg in one direction, hold it there, then move it into another position, and another, and later on, they go through the same exercise with the other leg. While the grand adage doesn't occur in many ballets,
Wow.
Doesn't occur in many ballets?
There's a grand adage in almost every ballet that I've ever known.
There's Swan Lake, Diana Noctilon, Don Q,
La Bayadere.
La Bayadere.
Le Corsaire.
Like
Every ballet has a
Sleeping
grand pas.
Beauty, Cinderella, all the ballets will have some kind of grand adage in it.
Some of them have multiple.
it may be part of ballet tests and auditions for advanced
Yeah,
classes,
ballet tests and
as
auditions.
it gives the judges a chance to assess the dancer's endurance. Highly necessary for ballet performances, which often run for several
true.
hours.
And go. All the way. All the way, two shoulders, allonge. And go one. And
She's a great teacher.
Yeah, she says.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Frappé, not coffee related, quick striking
Not
foot movements
coffee
used
related.
as a warm-up.
Because the leg is actually the easier way up there. It's easier. It's difficult to control at 45 degrees and it's still to be articulate and beautiful.
I actually have a couple of students that say that frappe is one of their hardest steps to master.
Butterfly, a jump with a quick outward kick, like butterfly wings.
This is my hard move because it's the coordination of getting off
That
the
is a
floor
beautiful
and
step right there.
reaching the height in one count.
This is a men's only step, so we've never done this. So I can't speak for them, but I will just say it's a beautiful step. I love it. I love watching it.
It looks hard.
It looks hard. I can't imagine doing it myself.
Double tour, tricky jump with 2 turns.
I've seen a lot of students, like male students, struggle with double tours, especially the landing.
Yes.
But again, they are standard. Just like a pirouette. The difficulty is in the consistency,
For
making
sure.
sure that you can get it every time. Because again, so many variables, so many moving parts.
Yes.
You need to make sure everything is calibrated, everything's aligned, everything's coordinated in order for this step to go well.
Number 1, fouetté. This is what most dancers mean by fouetté, although it is also called the Russian fouetté.
Oh my
Oh.
goodness. I can't listen to
Sorry,
this
turning the music down. Once you fall out of a fouetté, you can't save that. You are coming off your shoe, but you're still on one leg.
And you have so little time down there before you
Yeah.
have to go back up for the next turn. There's definitely a lot of room for error, and it's very unforgiving if you do mess it up.
It looks less complicated than the Italian version, since it refers to a single movement of the leg. However, it wouldn't be at the top if it were easy. In fact, the pirouette is an essential part of it. The dancer's leg kicks out and back in at the end of a turn, giving them the necessary momentum to keep spinning.
Brilliant.
One of the most famous fouetté sequences is from Tchaikovsky's
That's
Swan
right.
Lake, in which the Black Swan performs 32. 32 turns on one foot using just that single movement, an extraordinary feat of gravitational defiance, and a fitting end to our list.
There's a lot of ballets that have 32 fouettes in the coda, which is at the end of the pas de deux. It's very tiring.
You have to train and do 64 fouettes in the studio in order to just get the 32 on
Yeah.
stage.
Always over practice.
Always. All right, that was the top 10 hardest ballet
Hardest-
moves to pull off. They had a lot of valid points in there, but I'd say that they definitely had some points that they missed. There's this comment here that says, PK turns are so easy. Who made this list? Definitely not a professional ballerina.
And it's not, but that's okay. They gave their opinion. Please be kind in the comments, both in our comment section and also in Msmojo's comment section. What do you think should be on the top 10 hardest dance moves to pull off list?
Yeah, comment your revised list below.
Yes.
We'd love to read it. For me, definitely Adagio would be at the top.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you press the like button and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on the next one.
And I think that's all from us for now. This is Ballet Rain signing off until the next video.
Bye!